I'm reading the Bible and it's like his yoke is easy and his burden is light. But like I'm missing something about how you interact with me when I'm suffering.
Typically, there's two responses. It's either I'm going to try to solve this problem myself and I'm going to like figure it all out, or I'm going to be bitter and hole away. And then this song is basically saying, no, it's not a third option, it's the option.
It's the option. I remember feeling during that where I was like, praise is the solution to this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Radiant Podcast. Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. So on previous episodes, we've been hearing a lot of stories of God's faithfulness in people's lives, just some testimonies. And we're going to do that today, but we're going to actually hear the story behind the song. So we're going to be joined by a friend of mine, Devin, who is one of our artists and songwriters for Radiant City Music. And he wrote a song. Well, first of all, hi, Devin. So he wrote a song. How long ago did you write the song?
This was 2.5-ish years ago.
So you and a couple other people helped write the song Praise Breaks the Heavy Yoke. And so a couple years ago, and I actually wanted to kind of hear like the story behind the song. You know, when I was, reading through, my kids sing this song, I sing this song, it's stuck in my head. Like it's a great song. And I'm listening to this song and it's actually, just kudos to you. It's a very biblically like rich song. I mean, every line you can just find every single line in this song throughout the scripture. And so I was kind of joking with you earlier, but it's like you didn't chat GPT the lyrics. It's just like, hey, write me a banger. Like it's like as a creator, like as an artist, as a creator, designer, like things come from inside of you. And so when you're writing about the things that are in this song, like they come from like experiences or stories that you have with the Lord from inside of you. And so I would love just to kind of hear, this song kind of has like an overall theme. Obviously, praise breaking the heavy yoke, is like the overall theme. But just kind of would love to hear, we could actually go through like line by line. I don't think we'll do that, but I would just kind of love to hear the story of some of the song here. So I'll kind of just take it away. But I think before we get to the song, I'd love to like just a couple minutes just to hear, like probably if anybody's watching this, probably has never seen you before in their life. So it's like, I'd love to like, your name's Devin, you're married.
I am married.
Yeah. Married for, is it a year now?
Almost a year.
Wow, man.
A year in June.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
And then, and I did your wedding, actually.
You did.
I was disremembering. I was like, and I did their wedding.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. For some reason, I remember the premarital counseling, and I don't remember the wedding day, which is a common thing.
All I remember is you showing me that Bluey episode, trying to make me cry in premarital.
Oh yeah. That's like when I do premarital. Like, there's a couple Bluey episodes I keep in a back pocket.
Yeah.
Like, so you feel good. Watch this about being a husband and a dad, and you're gonna like lose your mind. And
it just made me more mad, and then I realized how good it was.
So been married a year.
Yep.
And how long have you been here at Radiant?
About 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years.
now.
Okay. And what would you say, like, how old are you?
25.
25. Okay. So kind of in your 20s, you're kind of from the area, right? Or you guys moved from South?
Yeah, I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, okay.
Originally.
So why move here?
I had an interesting kind of post-high school experience. Went to college for a year. Hated it. Went to school to be a vet.
Well, I don't think I ever knew this.
Yeah. I got like this weird scholarship, and I was like, oh, I
like a specific vet scholarship? No,
it was for, it was just like a general grant that I got to this school, and I didn't know what to do, but I wanted to make money.
And vet was the one.
Vet was the
I wouldn't actually think that vets are like the most lucrative career choice.
I had no idea what I was doing. And I basically just like failed, lost a scholarship, dropped out of college. Literally. I can't believe you didn't know this. I literally I had been.
I was expecting you to be like, I just decided that I wanted to do something different in my life. You're like, no, actually I failed. And so
no, it was terrible. It was one of the worst years of my life. It was terrible. Yeah, I look back on it fondly. Yeah. But I had been playing at church in my my church in my hometown, and going to school. I was living with my parents. Just failed miserably at school, but had a really profound encounter with the Lord during that terrible year. Like the most significant encounter with the Lord, where I, felt like I heard the Lord's voice, what He wanted me to do with my life.
He was like, "You're not a vet."
He was like,
is it?
"Be a different type of doctor."
Sorry, I don't
he
know.
was like, "I don't know why you picked vet. You're failing miserably."
Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, like I don't even want to be a vet. So
I don't know how far we're gonna get into this.
No, that's okay. We'll just riff too much. So I'd been playing at church. I'd been playing drums primarily.
Yeah, that's how I first met you.
Yes,
actually. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I have this encounter with the Lord, where He's highlighting like the worship leading thing, music, like songwriting, like stuff like that. And so it was so profound that I flipped the switch, dropped out of college, moved back to Fort Wayne, closer to my home church, served as much as I can, worked side jobs, sinned profusely, just terrible, but was always kind of tethered to the local church. And then I was just looking for what to do with the rest of my life. Was looking for internships and residencies, worship schools, all that stuff, and found RSW. And was like filling out the application, and then got bored and went to close my laptop. And as I was like closing my laptop, I got a text from one of my buddies sending me the RSW application. I was like, all right, this is probably it. Yeah. Like this sounds better than being a vet. And so I
mean, you'd actually would never know. Like,
yeah. Yeah, maybe being a vet's awesome. Maybe I actually made the wrong choice. No, but just moved up here. And since then, it's just been, moment after moment of the faithfulness of God. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. So
it's long-winded, but
I mean, there was a lot you said there, though. Yeah. Like, what I'm curious at is, you had mentioned, okay, I drop out of college. I mean, I would say you probably you failed. So I don't know if it's like a mutual separation.
I say drop out because it makes me look a little
it's like
better.
It wasn't you, it's me. And
you can't fire me, I quit.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're kind of lost, you're aimless, you're at the church, but you're also really like, you're searching after other things. Yeah. What was the motive in life of like, why choose RSW? Like, what were you looking for something? Were you like, I'm trying to find something? Like, because that's a pretty big shift to go from where you're at to like move to another state to do that. Yeah,
I had done a little internship, or like not internship. It was like a 7-day like intensive at a bigger church, and had some profound encounters with the Holy Spirit. The church that I was at wasn't extremely charismatic. And so that produced a little bit of tension in me. So while I'm looking for what to do with the rest of my life, I know that I want to be in the church. I want to lead worship. Like, I at least want to try that. I'm also looking for a church that values the Holy Spirit, the activity and the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and goes after those things while also being, rooted in the Word and biblical teaching and all that stuff. And so I was kind of like, it's not as profound as, maybe I would hope, but I was just like grasping at straws. I was just looking for something that resembled what I was hoping for. And Radiant kind of just fell into my lap in this kind of like random, beautiful way. And I had always been kind of like, since that first encounter during college, I was kind of very reactionary to what I felt like God was saying. Like there was not a ton of thought to it in a really beautiful and like innocent but passionate way. Where it was just like, all right,
I need something.
And this is just what I'm doing. As long as I'm like aimed towards the Lord and what I feel like the Lord wants me to do, I can't really go wrong.
So after you do, because our Radiant School of Worship internship is like
8 months.
Okay, yeah. So
at the time,
what was the decision to stay and not move back?
Yeah. Well, I didn't love my hometown.
Yeah.
To be fair. So
I'm from Iowa, so I can resonate a lot. Where it's just like, it's like. I mean, I love if anybody. Yeah, my family listens to this. That's probably gonna be crushing to hear.
Yeah,
but,
my family's gonna.
Yeah,
my family doesn't live there anymore either. So there's beautiful things about Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the church. Yeah. This church specifically, the people that were here. Just made such close friendships. Like I just loved what I was doing. Like I loved playing and leading, and like there was just no reason to leave. I just loved it, and I was certain that this is where God wanted me to be. I didn't feel the need to go anywhere else because there wasn't like a reason to. I loved it.
What did you feel like was, as you were, like you said, previous before doing the internship here, it was, I was kind of just grasping, like, I'm actually like was thinking about the opening line to the song, Praise Break. So it's like all of our efforts are leaving us dry. Yep. I feel like that was literally like what you're describing.
Yep.
Everything is just not working out.
Yep.
I need something.
Yes.
And as you kind of plant yourself here in the church, something starts to stick.
Yeah.
You had said community. Like, were there other things? Some of it was community, some was the church. What were some of those things that were starting to be fulfilled in you that realized, oh, actually, this is a home?
Yeah. The worship culture here. Culture's a fun word, but the way that worship was done here. The freedom that I felt when I got to lead, while also being like, it's controlled, but it's also free.
Yeah.
That part was so fulfilling to me. Like I said, came from a not extremely charismatic church, shorter set lists, 4 songs quickly, which is fine. But it wasn't, there was something lacking there. And so the freedom in the worship culture when I would lead or play was something that just like filled something in me. Also, this is where kind of the songwriting thing came into it, because I didn't write any songs before I came to Radiant. I didn't write any songs during RSW. I was really bad at it.
Yeah. But had you tried writing songs before, or is it?
Yeah, I tried writing one, I think, before. I can't even remember it. I think I would just like trauma blocked it out because of how bad it was.
Like little T trauma?
Yeah, oh yeah, no big T.
Big T trauma?
Yeah, it was that bad. It was that bad. And then wrote one during RSW because we had to. We were required to. And then after RSW ended, there was something that like, with all of the teaching on songwriting, one of my friends, Isaac, is an insane songwriter. Being in a close relationship with him, and then like,
we actually tried getting him scheduled first, but he was busy.
He definitely wasn't busy. But just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's actually waving at us right now.
That was, I think, the songwriting thing was the main thing that kept me like it filled something in me more than I think anything has in like my life as far as what I'm doing. I just started doing it and just loved it. Was writing songs every day, just like finishing songs consistently, writing, corporate worship, stuff between me and God, like random stuff. Like it was like overnight. It was the most passionate thing I was
looking
doing.
back, do you think something like unlocked that? Like I kind of look at it as you went from almost like lost, aimless, wrote a traumatic song, like traumatically awful song.
Dramatically awful.
Yeah. And then you kind of like, you just kind of throw yourself at the Lord here, and the Lord starts to like anchor you into a home. And then all of a sudden it feels like something unlocks.
That's what it kind of felt like. It felt like I'm aimless. I'm just, on a whim. Yeah. I'm like, God, I'm just going to do this. I'm hoping you catch me. And then I'm caught with, this church, this house, the kind of worship leading thing, feeling fulfilled in that. But then even deeper than that songwriting thing, like being around, we have a ton of good songwriters here, especially back then too. like hearing these original songs played in like the corporate context. You know, Caleb would send me songs that he was writing. Me and him developed a friendship pretty early on. He's an insane songwriter. It was just like, I'm throwing myself at God, and God unearths one of my deepest passions that I didn't even know was there, just based on who I'm around and what I'm around, which is just still insane to me. Because if you go back 5 years, no one would be like, Devin's gonna write songs. So that part has always been really significant. It's just the main thing I always want to keep doing.
Yeah,
is writing songs.
That's wild. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay, so kind of getting through into the song. I mean, you know, the verses are very much. Well, maybe I'll let you share. Yeah. Like, you know, when you're writing these verses, what are the thoughts, memories, whispers from the Lord? You know, whatever. As you're writing some of these verses.
Well, the thing about this song, from like a story timeline perspective, is the chorus came way before everything else. So that, not to
you can go
against your question.
No, go in any order. Yeah, that's great.
So like the chorus came out in a prayer meeting.
Okay.
I think we were recording a couple of other songs in the prayer room on a morning, and you know, we went kind of spontaneous after that for the entire hour, and that chorus came out, and I'm not like a big like spontaneous singer. I don't think I'm very good at it. I'm usually like either singing heresy or something that somebody already wrote. Like that's my spontaneous
Bro, that is
thing.
like so as a worship leader as well, that was like the most terrifying thing. Yeah. Like before you sing anything, you're just like going through the Rolodex of verses. You're like, please God, don't let this be something wrong. And then it comes out and you're like, I don't know if that was right.
Yeah, and when you just started reading the Bible consistently like 5 years ago, it's really hard to pull.
You're like, I haven't made it halfway through yet.
Yeah, I don't even know what happens at the end. I'm just kidding. I just got halfway through. I was like, they kill him? And then I found out, he comes back.
Yeah, he does.
Which is awesome.
He does come back, yeah. It's crazy.
I'm making this sound like I'm a very new Christian. That's a struggle for me. The spontaneous singing thing is a struggle for me. Yeah. People that can sing spontaneously and then have this beautiful chorus or verses or bridge, it's an insane art. I'm just bad at it.
Yeah.
But during this prayer meeting, I'm in the depths once again. I'm an emotional guy. I'm like 22, 23. I'm in the throes of long distance.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so sad.
So at this time you're dating your now wife.
Dating my now wife, Brooke. Yeah. And we had been, we're 4 years into long distance, something like that. Yeah. And I'm just feeling lonely.
Your life is the worst.
It is. Yeah. It's the worst. And it was, objectively. I'm just kidding.
You know, what's funny is this last episode, sorry, not this last, but we just recorded another podcast with someone else who was telling a story who was going through like cancer and like a failed adoption and all this stuff.
We're kind of both on the same page of suffering. Yeah, I agree.
Just try to relate.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I can identify with that.
Oh man,
I can't. Looking back, it's funny how low grade the suffering was.
It's crazy. Like I'm joking around with you. Yeah. But like, you know, and I'm on a different episode, I'm gonna actually have my wife in. We're gonna share our story of going through cancer for many years when we first got married. And that was actually something that we actually heard a lot from people. Like, you know, someone would bring up like, I'm having a really bad day or this is really hard. And then they'd look at us and they're like, well, I mean, it's not like that bad. And we're like, no. Like suffering. Like pain is pain. Yeah. Like not everything is on like a scale. Yep. Like the Lord uses all those moments to like refine something. And so, yes, you were not going through the same things, but for you, that was like the Lord was using those moments to like refine you and like work on you. I mean, as someone who's walked with you in those like some of those moments and your premarital and those things like that, it was like to see you now, to see where your marriage is, it's like, no, the Lord actually. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little.
No, a battery's big to an ant kind of thing. It's all about perspective.
Is that a saying?
Yeah, like with the suffering thing, like
A battery is big to
battery's
an ant?
big to an ant, but not to like a person.
Wow,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know what you're saying. I've never heard that phrase
I'm
before.
just a songwriter. I'm just kidding.
That's a good one. I wish we should write that together.
Yeah,
actually.
dude. So with that chorus, I'm kind of an emotional roller coaster. I'm definitely not super mature. I'm feeling the suffering in my perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to find the like antidote to it, not the solution to the suffering, not to eliminate the suffering, but like I'm reading the Bible and it's like his yoke is easy and his burden is light. You know, there's so much about Jesus and what he says where it's like I'm missing something about how you interact with me when I'm suffering. I'm missing something. And I don't want it to be equational. I don't want you to just take it away, but I'm missing something, right? So we're in this prayer meeting, and there's a lot of happy joy, jumping around and dancing for the first 30 minutes. And I just couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest, internally. Like I'm just feeling I don't want to dance. I don't want to jump around. I don't want to be happy. I just want to be in my little hole crying. And we get to this point where there's kind of a lull, and I mean, I can't really describe it. It's just like the melody, the lyrics, all drop. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, like that's the ticket. Like that's it. I'm like, and Cassie, who's now married to Isaac, she was leading as well. And Cassie has this weird thing where she can clock when somebody has something to sing. It's very.
I see what you're.
She can like if somebody has something to like sing, she'll like look at you and be like, all right, go ahead. And so she does that, and I'm like, okay, fine. Gosh, I wanted to hide away. So I step up and sing it, and I watched this prayer meeting back earlier this morning, and you can just see, you know, the people in the band, the room, like you can just see there's this agreement with it. And then I keep singing it, and then I'm feeling like, oh, this is it. Like the praise breaks the heavy yoke, where I'm like, what's the antidote to the suffering? Like, what's the antidote to feeling like crap? Like, how do you fix this? And it's praise. It's praise. It's like, it's not a mystery, secret thing to try and figure out. It's just praise.
So like typically there's two responses. Like,
absolutely.
It's either I'm gonna like try to solve this problem myself, and I'm gonna like figure it all out, and or I'm going to like be bitter and hole away and like blah blah blah. And then this song is basically saying, no, it's not a third option. It's the option. It's the
option, and it could take none of the suffering away, but you have your eyes in the right place, and your heart's directed in the right way, and that there's just a lightness that you feel, that I remember feeling during that, where I was like, praise is the solution to this. Like, I feel lighter. I feel less in despair, like less focused on myself. My eyes are kind of off of me and what I'm dealing with. And so that happens in that prayer meeting. And then it's like 2 months before we do anything with it. Like, we're just kind of singing that chorus spontaneously because there's life on it and whatever.
But that's the whole chorus, though. It's just that.
It's just like, praise breaks the heavy yoke. It like doesn't really need anything else. And it's just like we sang it 82 times in that prayer meeting, and it's like, wow, we're all not getting sick of this. This is crazy. And so that statement kind of latches onto me. It latches onto some of the people around me, and I feel the kind of burden, I think, from the Lord of like, you got to be a good steward with this. Like this is important. I wanted to kind of be stubborn and just hold on to the chorus and just let it be a chorus. And we had tried to put some things around it, different choruses and verses and stuff. We had kind of tried, and just nothing was feeling right. And then we started on the kind of verses and bridges. I don't know if you have any specific questions about those.
No, that's great. No, yeah. Well, it's funny that you said, like, I love that you said this, that you said that the Lord challenged you into stewarding this.
Yeah.
Because it is, like, I think a lot of people think, you know, with creatives or like songwriters, it's like, look, I'm just like, we made the joke, I'm just trying to write a banger, so I'm just going to put together, like, I'm going to like, all right.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, I'm going to put these words here, put this melody in. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, actually, like, this came from something, like, like you said, it was downloaded, like, in that moment. And I also think that you can't just, like, there was like something that came up inside of you and the Lord spoke to you at the same time.
Totally.
And that, like, moment of, like, trusting the Lord and listening to him and your history with him, like, all together, like, that's like a nugget of gold that impacts people's lives. So typically we think of it as like someone's testimony or story. It's like, I have, like, you know, if we were to have a conversation right now of like, hey, I'm struggling in my finances and I don't really know what to do, it'd be like, oh, I have like probably 7 stories right now that I could tell you of where I've met the Lord and he's spoken things to me. And I think it'll help stir your faith and trust in the Lord. I have to steward those things. Like, I could have just said, oh, that was a cool moment, and then press delete, and like, it's like gone from my brain and I just like keep going.
Totally.
But like, the Lord's like, hey, that moment, this is going to impact people's lives and you need to remember it and to steward it. And so I love that you said that, because you could just be like, that was a cool chorus, and then you move on.
Well, that's the thing that was, now that we're talking about it all in one story, it's interesting. I felt the full timeline of I like come to Radiant and do RSW, and then the Lord unearths this songwriting thing. And then I'm like obsessively songwriting for 2 years, right? Just like anytime I have free time, I'm just writing and writing and writing. And then I look at that moment, and what I feel confident in is God being like, okay, Devin, I have seen you be faithful with what I've unearthed in you, with that craft or whatever. I've seen you be faithful with that. I trust that you're going to be able to steward this chorus. Here's the chorus.
Yeah.
Now steward it. Like, you've been writing verses. You've been writing, like, you've been doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. Now put language to it, where you're talking about the kind of like God downloads it. And they kind of like meet. That part has always been cool to me. It feels like God was like, hey, I trust you with this.
So on that chorus, so, you know, you had said like, you were kind of going through like, you know, that kind of low moment, the Lord speaks to you. Now, I think what the Lord spoke to you, this is my opinion, so who knows, like, but what I think the Lord spoke to you was, here is a Holy Spirit inspiration of how to craft raw feelings and emotion and history, how to craft it into like melody and lyric. Do you feel like there was moments like leading up to that? It could have been in your deep past or recent past of where you actually felt what this chorus is, praise breaking the heavy yoke upon you, like to actually singing through thankfulness, singing through that pain and that yoke and that heaviness, and by singing through that, praising, thanksgiving, it actually being the thing that breaks the yoke. Have you experienced that?
Had I experienced it before that came out? I think I had, but
you probably didn't have language.
I didn't have language for it.
That's what I think was the Holy Spirit inspiration.
It's so interesting, because like, when you talk about one of the specifics of me being sad and angsty, the long distance thing, it's kind of a long, it's like a long form version of small suffering, right? It's a long time, right? I had been like, it felt like an answer to a question that I had been searching for a long time. I had had conversations with people I trust and look up to, and they keep kind of saying like, the Thanksgiving praise thing, like this is the ticket, like thankfulness, like you can be focused on yourself, or you can be like, and that was never satisfying to me. I was like, yeah, okay, like I just want to be sad. And so like I felt like I'd been searching, and I had these beautiful moments with God where it actually happens, but I'm just like, I don't have language for it, I don't have understanding for it. So it felt like the answer to a question that I had been asking in my heart for a really long time, like searching the scriptures and like talking with people I trust and talking to God. And I'm like, what is this? How do I do this? Like, how do I get out of this? Because I know that suffering is going to get worse. Like later in life, like that's just the nature of life. It's going to get a lot worse than what I was in at the time. So it felt like an answer to a question that I had been asking for a long time. That's what was so satisfying to me is now I can look back and be like, oh, that was an example of praise breaking the heavy yoke.
Exactly.
Like that's that and that's that.
Yeah. So what would you say? So let's say you're 25, you said? Yeah. Yeah. So let's say you're speaking to another 25-year-old or maybe a 20-year-old or something. It's like who's going through that like kind of suffering. Yeah. Did you look at Malachi? How old are you?
I did.
20. So Malachi.
I did, yeah.
So let's pretend you're talking to Malachi right now, who's our amazing like studio editor producer here. And so so Malachi is going through his suffering, his heavy yoke, but he hasn't been able to see clearly through that. So as someone who is like, oh, now you are, a couple of years from that moment of that revelation, you've been able to walk through that. What would you say to the person who's experiencing that? How would when they're feeling hopeless, when they're feeling like I don't even want to sing, like I don't even know how to sing through this. What is it even like? Why would singing, why would praise, why would Thanksgiving solve this? I just want to be bitter, or I want to be like I want to fix it myself.
Yeah.
You can look at Malachi if you want to. It makes it easier, or maybe it doesn't. Yeah.
Nah. We'll just get lunch probably later this week and have the same conversation. No, I would make it pretty simple because it actually is. When you're in the throes of life, you're never going to actually want to do praise or do Thanksgiving. You're never going to want to. Like, really easy to when life's going good. Yeah. But you're never going to want to when you're in the throes of it. Yeah. And I'm not a big equation guy when it comes to like God. I don't really love the like A equals B or whatever. But
which is not an equation.
A plus B equals C. Sorry.
Sorry.
A doesn't equal B. Those are the equations I like. Yeah. You're never going to want to do it. Yeah. But it's a very, very simple equation that the Bible outlines very, very clearly. Practically write down 5 things that you're thankful for. Yeah. Pick a song that is praise to God and sing it. Yeah. Like, you're not going to feel like it. I'll sit down and write 5 things I'm thankful about. Try to do it every day. To try to keep my heart in line. Yeah. And then if I'm in the throes of it, I'll go and sing doxology to myself. Yeah.
And what does that do for you? It doesn't solve the problem.
No, it doesn't solve the problem at all. It just when you have to like reset your phone, if your phone's like being weird or like your like MacBook. That's a great picture, yeah. Like where it's like the mouse isn't like moving smoothly or like error messages are popping up or whatever. Like, it just resets you. Yeah. Like it just resets your focus. I read this quote in a book where the guy's like, when I pray and talk to God, I say, thank you for everything. Yeah. It just resets it. Yeah. It's like God is good. God is faithful. He's kind to me. I have a billion things to be thankful for, even though this one thing's going terrible. Yeah. It's just a reset. Yeah. And the reset in relation to the song is it takes the heavy yoke off and it puts Jesus's on. Yeah. And it's easy and light and correct. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
That's so good, man. That's so good. Well, Devin, thanks for talking, man. I know it's like, it can even be like, not sensitive, but it can be vulnerable to share about something that's like a creation. When you're writing something as a creator, it's like, oh, but like, I just appreciate your vulnerability and sharing in that. And it's a powerful song. If you've if you're listening to this and you have not listened to the song yet, like we'll link it. You got to listen to this song. It's great. And it's like an earworm and it'll get stuck in your head and you're going to
be jumping around.
Yeah, you're going to be jumping around. And like to truly though, like Devin was saying, to like actually make the choice to actually be thankful in those moments. It's not one of the options we want to choose, but it is the option that God has asked us to choose. So thank you so much, man, for jumping in with us. And we'll have you back on soon. So
amazing. Thank you.
Can I like interject with something?
Oh, actually, I was about to end, but Malachi wants to interject, and I'll repeat whatever he says. Yeah.
I just think it's like crazy because like you're talking about like how like you went through all this stuff and like to like obviously the long picture of the song and like how you processed all that through that song, but it's like crazy because like the fruit of that song, like for me, like when you sang that chorus, that was like one of my first prayer meetings at this church. And I'm like 18 or whatever, like going through all this angsty stuff too. And for you to like have that revelation, sing it, and then have it like impact people my age, even me, like I would say that song has like changed my life.
I love that.
So I just think it's really cool. Like look on the big picture.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
So
that's beautiful.
Hopefully you could
use the camera audio.
Okay, sweet. Hopefully you can edit that. That's great. Then I won't even repeat it. So, bro, but thanks so much for sharing that, man. It is true. It's powerful when you like, just to piggyback off what Malachi was saying, like it is such a. It's funny, like when you think about songwriting, sometimes you're like trying to find the most like unique way of saying something, to be creative. Like you want something that's like ultra, and like literally the simplicity of this chorus. I mean, it's literally just those like, whatever, 5 words, whatever it is. Is it 5? I did it. Yeah, I did the math. It's like the simplicity of that chorus is like, no, this is the answer God has given us to like, and to actually rest and steward in that. And so I'm just, So anyway, it's a super powerful song. Thanks, Malachi, for sharing that.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Devin, for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Make sure you subscribe and join us next week on the Radiant Podcast.